We're all just so heartbroken behind this. To know my brother is to love my brother.
The family of a man shot and killed in Southeast Austin speaks out as the suspect charged in his murder finds himself back behind bars after he bonded out for just a few $100, just $100.
Workers across the nation feeling the strain of the Trump administration's work to shrink the federal government. The president's reaction to the growing concern as many Americans take aim at Elon Musk.
But first, we start with a live look outside where you can see a frigid and cloudy day settled over downtown Austin. All of Central Texas is currently under an extreme cold warning, with some parts of the state seeing temperatures in the teens. Now, we received some video from a viewer showing flurries of snow falling near Liberty Hill. Much of the area has seen flurries like this falling most of the morning.
And up in North Texas, many woke up to light snow on the ground along with a bitter cold. The Arctic cold front brought gusty northerly winds and light snow to Fort Worth this morning, with dangerously low temperatures making it feel like below zero. Chief Meteorologist Nick Bannon joining us with a look now at what kind of impact this Arctic front will have on Central Texas.
Yeah, so we're not expecting any more snow, but what we are expecting is colder air temperatures tonight than what we had last night. It may not feel as cold as the wind backs off, but the air temperatures should be colder. Right now, most of the area well into the 20s. Not many 30s out there at this point. 31 though in San Marcos is the warm spot. 30 in Fredericksburg thanks to a bit of sun in the afternoon, and now the clouds are filling back in with middle and upper 20s across the area. The wind gusts have come down, but there's still enough wind gusting in the 15 to 25 mile per hour range that it feels like the 20s in a few spots, the teens in a lot of areas, and already feeling like single digits in Lampasas. And even as the wind comes down, the temperatures will also come down, so wind chills will likely drop into the 0 to 10 degree range overnight tonight as the air temperatures drop into the teens and low 20s. So another night of an extreme cold warning. This doesn't end until noon tomorrow. So don't forget, people, pets, plants, and drip your pipes here tonight. Even if you haven't needed to all winter, tonight likely our coldest night of the winter. On clouds and radar, a mostly cloudy sky. We're snow-free here at this point and should be here tonight as those feels like temperatures drop. Our temperatures slowly drop from a mostly cloudy sky to a partly cloudy sky by 11, and will slowly clear overnight tonight. So we'll keep tracking the coldest night of winter, potentially not even done with wintry weather after tonight as we track the potential for a light wintry mix to wrap up the work week, although heading much warmer for next week.
All right, Nick, thank you very much. And as below freezing temperatures move through Austin, Austin's Homeless Strategy Office says more people are seeking shelter. The office says almost 400 people used the city's overnight cold weather shelters last night as the temperatures plummeted. Austin Travis County EMS says they responded to 5 cold-related illness calls last night and had to take 4 people to the hospital. A murder suspect released on a technicality is back in jail this afternoon after a hearing this morning requested by prosecutors.
KXAN's Brianna Hollis explains the drastic back and forth of the suspect's bond amounts and how this whole process has impacted the victim's family.
We're all just so heartbroken behind this. To know my brother is to love my brother. He was just so sweet, so loving.
Police believe Stephen Morrison shot and killed KXAN Cage on Burton Drive in October. His bond started at $800,000, but per state law, it dropped to just $100 after prosecutors missed the 90-day deadline to indict him. After prosecutors requested a higher bond, a judge ultimately upped that bond to $100,000. Morrison would have to pay 10% of that, so $10,000 to get back out of jail.
We're grateful that he's back in custody. It's not the price that we wanted.
Brian Erskine, Morrison's attorney, says the district attorney's office, quote, dropped the ball and they should have been able to secure an indictment within 90 days on a murder case.
This is, in fact, a show to try to move the fault of their office from their failure to indict over onto the judge.
So the first question I want to ask is how that 90-day deadline was missed in this case. We pressed District Attorney Jose Garza on why this 90-day deadline was missed in the first place. After spending some time talking about his office's commitment to public safety, he got to the meat of the answer.
We identified management problems with a 20-year experienced prosecutor.
The DA says that prosecutor resigned about a month into working Morrison's case. Cage's family says Morrison has taunted them since Cage's murder, going so far as to show up at memorial events. Their message now, Cage was a great young dad, and they want justice.
Justice for me is putting him behind bars for life, because what he did to my brother was just so heinous.
Brianna Hollis, KXAN News.
Morrison's attorneys plan to appeal the judge's bond increase. They don't believe she was allowed to issue a new bond after Morrison was released. The judge says she wanted an appeals court to make that final decision. This comes on the same day Texas senators approved legislation to deny bail to some accused criminals. The Senate passed SB 9, which would restrict personal bonds. Then that's where the court waives the majority of posted bail if the defendant agrees to certain conditions. People accused of violent crimes would not be eligible for personal bonds. Senators also passed a constitutional amendment to deny bail to people in the country illegally if they're accused of a felony. Governor Greg Abbott declared bail reform an emergency item this legislative session. The bills now go to the House, the Texas House. As Americans across the country start to feel the effects of President Donald Trump's budget cuts, firings, and layoffs, the president and his advisor, billionaire Elon Musk, are defending their actions.
Now this, as workers who lost their jobs must now deal with the reality of no work and few explanations. NBC's Julie Sirkin has more from Washington.
From the nation's capital and across the country, federal employees are angry, upset, and in disbelief at their new reality. Tens of thousands losing their jobs, many without explanation.
It was like having the rug pulled out from under me. It's very, very sad. I feel very sad and very angry and just baffled by this entire situation.
A situation devised by President Trump and Elon Musk as they work to slash federal spending. In an interview overnight with Fox News, the president praised the world's richest man for what he calls cost cutting.
He gets it done. He's a leader. Yeah. He really is. He gets it done.
Since he took office, the president and his administration made claims of fraud throughout government agencies without evidence. Lawmakers on Capitol Hill say the cuts hurt the very people who need help the most. Independent Senator Angus King, who serves on the Veterans Affairs Committee, says he's been flooded with calls from laid-off workers.
It's damaging to the people who are losing their life's work. It's damaging to the veterans who need the services, and it's damaging to the country.
Mr. Trump claims DOJ's work will save taxpayer dollars and boost the economy in the future. But for today, it's a tough sell for Chelsea Colmer, who lost her job with the Forest Service.
All the people I work with are like family, and just imagining not working with them anymore, it hurts.
Another focus for the president, getting Congress to fund his priorities. Today, Vice President J.D. Vance huddled with Republican senators behind closed doors on a path forward for the budget plan. The Senate's still planning to vote on their version of the bill, despite Trump endorsing the House version earlier today. But it's not clear if that bill has the votes. In Washington, Julie Sirkin, NBC News.
An infant has tested positive for measles in Odessa, sparking the first confirmed case in the West Texas city. The Ector County Health Department says the infant was too young to receive the measles vaccine. Public health officials are working to find others who may have had contact with the infant and been exposed to the virus. And this comes as another rural West Texas community battles a growing outbreak of measles. So far, at least 58 cases have been confirmed, with most of those cases in Gaines County, also one in Lubbock. Health officials are suspecting between 200 to 300 people in that area may also be infected. Starting Friday, the University of Texas at Austin will host science enthusiasts at the Texas Science Festival. UT professor Jamie Davis spoke with KXAN about the event. She says it will kick off with a seminar on the benefits of school and community gardens. And Davis says it will also help children learn where their foods came from and how taking steps to watch what you eat leads to healthier lifestyles and also breeds new skills.
I think if a child can plant a seed and grow it, they're much more likely to want to try it. And so that's the first step to kind of setting these long-term life habits of wanting, eating vegetables. A lot of what we teach kids is not only where their food comes from and how to eat it, but environmental steward concepts like how to grow their own food and how to grow their own food using, systems like hydroponics.
The Texas Science Festival runs from Friday until March 6th. Also on Saturday, February 22nd, UT will host STEM Girl Day. which gives students a chance to explore STEM through hands-on activities hosted by experts.
We set a new record low this morning. The previous record low for today's date at Austin's Camp Mabry was 21 back in 2021. This morning we got down to 20, and our high temperature wasn't much warmer. We got to 29, which would be a record cold high for today's date as well. We've got another very cold night ahead of us before temperatures slowly moderate. We'll talk about the threat for some icy weather late in the week in first warning weather.
As Hays County continues to boom, something continues to grow along with it, and that's food insecurity.
A new report from the Central Texas Food Bank shows 1 in 6 adults in the county might struggle to get healthy food on the table. KXAN's Sam Stark breaks down the contributing factors to this trend.
When Augustine Padilla went grocery shopping as recently as 2021, his receipt looked considerably different.
I remember having a good list of groceries that I had ordered, and I tried reordering that same exact grocery list over earlier last week, and the price went up almost 3 times.
Padilla said expensive groceries and increases in the cost of living in Hays County have strained his wallet.
I've kind of cut down on a lot of other, things that I would love to do and stuff like that.
It's reasons like these that have led to more families in the county becoming food insecure. The Central Texas Food Bank put out a report showing that roughly 16% of the county struggles with access to healthy food.
Looking at just our numbers, that we added 6,000 new families in 2024.
Lisa Young is the executive director of the Hays County Food Bank, a partner agency to the Central Texas one. She said in 2024, her organization helped more people get access to food than ever before.
We all know just how big the need is here. It's been rising ever since 2023.
Young said less access to SNAP benefits and high costs, including for prescription drugs, are driving factors behind a more food insecure county.
People say they can't afford their prescriptions because the groceries are so high, but we've also had people come to us saying they've never used the food bank before, but now they don't have enough money because they paid for prescriptions.
Young said the food bank is opening a new, larger location soon, which will help them further assist the community. In Hays County, Sam Stark, KXAN News.
And according to a 2022 government study, prices for both generic and brand drugs were almost 3 times higher in the U.S. than in other countries. Going in depth, this also comes as the U.S. experiences a nationwide shortage of eggs amid a rapid spread of bird flu among dairy cows and wild birds. As of yesterday, bird flu has been detected in more than 12,000 wild birds, nearly 163 million poultry, and 972 dairy herds. And with the spread comes the need for culling millions of chickens per month, and that's causing egg prices to skyrocket, with some stores rationing sales. Right now, the average price for a dozen of grade A eggs is nearly $5, and the USDA expects it will soar by another 20% this year.
All right, you are busy over there in the weather center. What are we expecting going into tonight?
Yeah, another cold night, less wind, but colder air temperatures. But you know what's a good thing about this? We're not alone. The entire state is cold, so we're all in it together, right? You can see all of Texas just about way colder than normal. 40s south of us, 20s here, and to the north, closer to Amarillo, in the teens. We've got extreme cold alerts, or warnings, I should say, for most of the state. And for the areas not in the extreme cold warnings, it's the cold weather advisories. So all of Texas in it together. Maybe that's not so much comfort here tonight. Temperatures will continue to drop through the 20s into the teens as we start tomorrow morning. Austin has not dropped into the teens yet this winter. So tomorrow morning's lows will be the coldest of this season. And in fact, that may be the case for most of Central Texas here tomorrow, with our coldest low temperatures of the season, or at least close to it. Of course, remember, people, pets, plants, and pipes. Yes, if you haven't had to drip your pipes much yet this winter, tonight may be the night to do it, with our coldest lows of the season in many areas. A lot of sun tomorrow compared to today. Middle and upper 20s by midday, and then we head into the middle and upper 30s during the afternoon. That, combined with lower wind gusts in the order of 10 to 15 miles per hour, it's going to feel like a much nicer afternoon, although still a chilly one. Although remember, tomorrow morning will be very frigid. Lots of clouds on top of our heads right now. These clouds will be very slow to break apart. They were very slow to break apart during the day. I expect this slow clearing trend, though, will pick up as we head through the overnight hours into tomorrow morning. Just a few scattered clouds left over at daybreak, and then we'll turn mostly sunny here tomorrow. So it will look like a nicer day than the one we had here today. Then the clouds start to come back pretty quickly as we get into Friday morning. Show a short-lived sunshine, but we get it for one day here tomorrow. So we're down to 19 here tonight with a north wind 10 to 20 miles per hour. Then the wind is north-northeast tomorrow, 5 to 15. So you get the general idea, the wind gusts coming down, a lot more sun tomorrow, and a high of 37. We do want to start talking about Friday into Saturday, though. I know we're focusing on the cold for now, and this is cold related. But as we head through a cloudy Friday, the cloud likely keeping our temperatures from warming much. We'll go with a high of just 36 Friday. And we've got 20% rain chances later in the day. Those rain chances pick up to 30% Friday night. Here's the problem. Low temperatures Friday night, Saturday morning drop below freezing, we expect. This could lead to areas of sleet, rain, and freezing rain Friday night to Saturday morning. Saturday eventually climbs into the low 40s with some periods of wet weather, but the concern for some iciness Friday night into Saturday morning. So summing all that up, the timeline of potentially a light wintry mix later on Friday night, Saturday morning. Light rain turning to a light sleet or freezing rain mix. Icing amounts still uncertain. They seem to be on the light side. Talking way less than 1/10 of an inch, but we'll keep monitoring that for you. The potential impact could be some elevated surfaces Friday night and Saturday morning could become icy. So bear that in mind as you plan ahead into the weekend. Here's a look at our first warning weather 7-day forecast. We climb up to 42 Saturday afternoon with some light rain coming to an end by Saturday evening. Sunday, clouds in the morning, sun in the afternoon. We're up to 62. And then next week, it's a whole different story. 73 Monday, 77 Tuesday, 75 on Wednesday.
8 green sea turtles, stunned by the cold during a rare snowfall in Florida, have been released back into the Atlantic Ocean. A total of 17 sea turtles found stranded last month along Florida's northeastern Atlantic coast were brought to the Loggerhead Marine Life Center in South Florida for rehabilitation. The first group of recovered turtles was released yesterday. More than a dozen additional turtles have been brought to Loggerhead Marine Life since the initial group. Other turtle facilities around the state have reached capacity.
And right now, it has been so busy from this cold stunning event that all of the sea turtle facilities in the state of Florida are full of sea turtles. And LMC is still accepting turtles, but it definitely, we're very busy here, we'll say that.
And in addition to the mass cold stunning event, the cold snap brought frigid temperatures as far as South Florida.
Archaeologists in Egypt discovered the first royal tomb in more than 100 years. That's according to Egypt's Ministry of Tourism and Antiquities. And right now the ministry said that the tomb belonged to Pharaoh Thutmose II, and that it was the last missing royal tomb of the 18th dynasty. Archaeologists made the discovery during excavation work near the Valley of the Kings. Among the findings were pieces of alabaster jars inscribed with the name of Pharaoh Thutmose II, alongside inscriptions bearing the name of his chief royal consort, which helped confirm the tomb's ownership. The Secretary General of the Supreme Council described the discovery as, quote, one of the most significant breakthroughs in recent years.
Coming up tonight on KXAN, it's Chicago Night. We've got Chicago Net at 7 o'clock, followed by Fire at 8 o'clock, PD at 9, before we're back with KXAN News at 10.